It was a chilly afternoon in the city. The streets buzzed with life-honking cars, hurried footsteps, and the smell of coffee and pastries from sidewalk cafes. But none of that mattered to 12-year-old Lila. She stood alone on the corner, her arms wrapped around herself for warmth. Her stomach growled, and her lips were cracked from the wind. She hadn't eaten since the previous day. A few people had given her odd looks, some pitied glances, but no one had stopped. Just across the street, a woman in her early 30s sat alone at a cafe table. She wore a crisp beige coat, gold earrings, and had the calm, polished look of someone who had everything. Her name was Clara. She had just finished her lunch, a half-eaten sandwich and salad still sat on the plate in front of her. Lila hesitated. She didn't like begging, but hunger had its own kind of desperation. She crossed the street slowly and stood by the table, voice barely above a whisper. "Excuse me? Can I have your leftovers?" Clara looked up, startled. Her eyes met Lila's, tired, sunken, but oddly familiar. Something in her chest tightened. "Of course," she said gently, sliding the plate toward her. "Are you okay?" Lila nodded, but didn't answer. She sat on the sidewalk and started eating quickly, like she wasn't sure when she'd get another chance. Clara couldn't stop staring at her. "What's your name?" she asked softly. "Lila." Clara froze. Her breath caught in her throat. That name it had lived in the quiet parts of her heart for 12 years. A name she whispered to herself every birthday, every sleepless night. "When's your birthday?" Lila didn't even look up. March 14th. Clara's heart dropped. That was the day her daughter was born. She reached into her purse. Inside was a baby photo, wrinkled and faded, but still clear. She held it out, her hands shaking. Lila paused. She looked at the photo, then at Clara, and back again. Her chewing slowed, her face changed. "That's me," she said quietly. Tears streamed down Clara's face. Her voice cracked. "I gave birth to a baby girl 12 years ago. I was young, scared. My parents said it was best to let her go. They promised she'd be adopted into a good family." Lila's eyes welled up. "I was in foster care my whole life. They lied." Neither of them spoke for a moment. Then Clara knelt down and held out her arms. Lila stared at her for a second that felt like forever. Then she leaned in, and Clara wrapped her up, holding her tighter than she'd ever held anyone. And in the middle of a noisy street, where a hungry girl had only hoped for leftovers, she found something she never expected: her mother, and maybe, finally, a place to belong.